AEW President Tony Khan breaks his silence after it was revealed that WWE NXT defeated AEW Dynamite as the two shows went head-to-head on Tuesday. Also, taking more shots at WWE and TKO's executive chairman Vince McMahon in the process. An update on Jade Cargill's current WWE status after she's now made appearances at Fastlane and NXT over the past 7 days. An update on if we can expect War Games at Survivor Series this year. Plus, Ronda Rousey teases that she's retired. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about Tony Khan. Many people waiting to see what his response would be after it was revealed that WWE NXT defeated comfortably AEW Dynamite Tuesday night head-to-head in terms of total viewership and also in the key 18 to 49 demographic in the ratings. Tony Khan has commented for the first time since the viewership figures for Tuesday's AEW and NXT head-to-head were revealed. After being quite active throughout the day on social media, there was a break for a few hours, but Tony Khan has since weighed in. Obviously, we spoke about the ratings yesterday, so be sure to check that out in yesterday's video. But if you're not familiar, AEW Dynamite captured around 600,000 overall viewers, with NXT clocking upwards of 900,000 viewers. Now, Tony Khan did take to social media after the fact. Here's what he had to say, quote, "Thank you to all who watch AEW. On any other Wednesday, AEW Dynamite would be on TBS now. Thanks to you wrestlers, AEW wrestlers and staff. We've come so far from a startup in a parking lot. We all teamed up to put on a great show last night. I hope that we always keep up our challenger spirit." Now, of course, this week's AEW Dynamite featured a series of exciting matches, including the in-ring debut of Adam Copeland in AEW, who bested Luchasaurus in the main event. We also saw, obviously, Bryan Danielson defeat Swerve Strickland for a title shot at Christian Cage's TNT Championship, and chaos ensued after the main event as a brawl erupted as well. But it was really what he went on to say later on in the evening that got a lot of people talking, and it was about Vince McMahon. Now, this led from people talking on social media. Let's get into what actually started here. So, there was a post, I believe it was from WrestleOps, and actually just broke down the ratings with NXT defeating AEW Dynamite in total viewership, as well as the key demographic. Now, someone responded by saying, quote, "The fact that NXT did it with Rhea and Dom speaks a lot. AEW's main brand is nowhere close to WWE's third brand, even with the hottest heel right now in the industry. Tony needs to go to the boardroom, maybe change a few board members, and stop being a loser here, taking cheap shots at," and it continues. Someone responded to that by saying, "Yeah, because Vince has never taken a cheap shot at the competition before." Someone then responded to that by saying, "The difference is that Vince has the power and influence to take them cheap shots. He earned the right to make them. Tony Khan is Vince if you order him from Temu. You can shop like a billionaire, but you'll get the cheapest tat doing so." Now, Tony Khan responded to this by quote tweeting that aforementioned post and saying, quote, "Yes, Vince has allegedly used his power and influence to shoot a lot of shots," of course referring to the allegations against Vince McMahon and the hush money payments as well. Obviously, that scandal that led to Vince McMahon's initial retirement last year too. What are your thoughts on Tony Khan doing yet another shot at WWE? Of course, he's done them at Triple H and Shawn Michaels over the last few days, calling them bold assholes, taking shots at Vince McMahon as well, talking about the allegations against him too. Now, what's quite interesting as well is Kevin Kelly. Kevin Kelly was somebody who was front and center in the Monday Night Wars, so he would have a pretty good reference point when it comes to the Tuesday Night Wars that we had this week. AEW Collision commentator Kevin Kelly has commented on Dynamite and NXT going head-to-head on October 10. As I mentioned, WWE presented a stacked episode of NXT that featured appearances from John Cena, LA Knight, The Undertaker, Cody Rhodes, Asuka, Paul Heyman, and more. AEW, meanwhile, gave fans a Title Tuesday episode of Dynamite that included a buy-in show on YouTube 30 minutes beforehand. The numbers came in at 921,000 viewers for NXT and a 0.30 in the 18 to 49 demographic, while AEW secured 609,000 viewers and a 0.26. In the wake of the numbers news, Kevin Kelly has commented on the head-to-head on social media, writing, quote, "As someone who worked in WWF during the Monday Night Wars, I thought last night was a win for both sides. Fan excitement and interest has people talking. Ratings move at a glacial pace. Let's enjoy." Of course, Kevin Kelly joined WWE in 1996 and would be released from his role in March of 2003. He went on to serve as the announcer for Ring of Honor from 2010 to 2017. In 2015, he would become an English language commentator for New Japan, where he will continue to work up until at least Wrestle Kingdom 18. Of course, now he is the commentator for AEW. He's a commentator for AEW Collision alongside Nigel McGuinness, beginning on the debut episode back in June of 2023. He also did point out that Collision was starting an hour earlier this week. That's not the case now due to the MLB playoffs finishing, so there's not going to be that different start time. It's going to be airing in its usual time slots on Saturday night. But what are your thoughts on Tony Khan's comments? What are your thoughts on Tony Khan's referring to AEW as a startup and talking about the fighting spirit of the company? And more importantly, what are your thoughts on his continued shots against the likes of Vince McMahon, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and others? Let me know your thoughts about all of it in the comments section below. Now, a bit of an update when it comes to Jade Cargill. We've seen her dotted around WWE television over the last 7 days. Jade Cargill has already made waves in her short time in WWE without having actually appeared in front of a live crowd on a WWE show. Jade arrived on the WWE Fastlane kickoff show last weekend, where she was greeted by Triple H in the parking lot. Jade also appeared on this week's episode of NXT, where she also pulled up to the arena in a car and was greeted by Shawn Michaels in the parking lot. In an update from PW Insider, Cargill has been back at the Performance Center today and yesterday, where she's been training ahead of her eventual WWE in-ring debut. Jade's WWE signing has already provided big numbers for the company, with her signing announcement being the second most viewed post relating to WWE talent in 2023. In addition to that too, she also posted something that was quite interesting on social media after arriving at NXT this week. As I mentioned, while Jade made a brief appearance on the show, being greeted by Shawn Michaels in the parking lot and continuing to build anticipation regarding which brand she's going to land on, she also met up with another very powerful player. Now, we can show you indeed who that powerful player was. It was none other than Paul Heyman. Yes, Paul Heyman, always scouting up-and-coming talent. Paul Heyman may have factored into on-screen backstage segments with both Ava, the daughter of The Rock, and Bron Breakker on this week's episode of NXT, but he was also spotted with Cargill. Posting a photo of the pair together, Jade wrote, quote, "Money with the GOAT of GOATs." Now, since their interaction wasn't teased on television, it's unlikely to be a planned storyline for the immediate future, but it would be epic, right? Well, certainly it could be an option that a WWE decides to do. One detail that did come to WWE from AEW with Jade, as seen in the photo, is her signature "That Bitch" glasses. Now, whether or not she'll be able to use them on PG WWE television, we'll have to wait and see, but do you think there's any chance we could see Jade Cargill working with Paul Heyman in the future? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Now, many people are wondering about Survivor Series this year and if it's going to see the return of War Games, as William Regal would say. Now, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, Survivor Series, of course, on the horizon, and Fightful are reporting some news associated with the big premium live event scheduled for November in Chicago. Fightful Select has confirmed that as of this week, War Games was being planned for WWE Survivor Series. 2022 saw the first ever main roster WWE War Games matches in Boston, with both men's and women's matches taking place. So far, Fightful have heard that the men's match is on the table and haven't heard one way or another. It was heavily implied that the Judgment Day would be part of this match, but details around that are far from confirmed. Of course, Survivor Series takes place on November 25th from the Allstate Arena in Chicago. So as of right now, the working plan is to have War Games at the event, similarly to last year, but as of right now, it's not been announced. Finally, Ronda Rousey has teased her retirement, I guess from professional wrestling and maybe just from entertainment in general. Ronda Rousey has teased her retirement following her dramatic departure from WWE in August 2023 after SummerSlam with a cryptic message. Rousey's last match in WWE saw her lose to Shayna Baszler in an MMA rules match. It was later reported that she was writing a new memoir with a projected release date of spring 2024. There's also been a report that she's focusing on another run in the UFC with an eye on competing at UFC 300, although it's still unclear whether or not that's actually the case. UFC UFC CEO in his new role, Dana White, had kind of poured cold water on that, suggesting that wasn't the case. More recently, Rousey has posted on Instagram sharing images of herself with her daughter, husband, and Marina Shafir. clearly enjoying her new lease of life. In the photos, Rousey also shared a quote, writing, quote, "Sorry, I couldn't hear you through my retirement, Bernie Lumen." Now, the quote comes from the character in the Disney Pixar movie Elemental, so seemingly she's suggesting that she's retired from what? Could it be wrestling? Could it be MMA? Could it be from just entertainment in general? We'll have to wait and see. But do you think there's any chance we see Ronda Rousey back inside of a WWE ring or a UFC octagon as well, considering they're both now under the TKO umbrella? Let me know your thoughts about Rousey's future too. But there you go, guys. It's the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.